In today's video, I want to talk about lenses, but I won't give you any specific advice on which lens to buy. On the contrary, I will tell you about the mistakes I made and about the lenses I bought that turned out not necessary. But keep in mind that this video is not a buying guide, but a compilation of my personal preferences that form my style and main types of photo shoots I like to do. It is important for you to realize that all the recommendations and reviews you see on similar channels are extremely subjective and should not be taken as call to action. And please don't rush to the store for new lenses after you watch this video, okay? If some lens gets reviewed positively by some YouTubers, it doesn't mean it's objectively good. And if it gets bad reviews, it doesn't mean it's really bad. You need to learn how to make decisions with cold head based solely on your personal thoughts, knowledge, and desires. You surely never can think about everything and take every detail into account, so you may buy a few useless lenses. But don't you worry, you will always find them new owners. Making mistakes is just a part of life, you know, just like buying unnecessary lenses is part of a photographer's life. So here you go, the lens mistakes I made. The first lens is a Sigma 24mm f1.4 for Sony cameras. If you watch this channel more or less regularly, then you may know that 50mm is one of my favorite focal lengths for photography. It's great for most part, but sometimes when the viewing angle is not enough for me, I use a 35mm lens. This lens setup is a modern classic. Some may say it's even boring, that's what I thought once, and bought the 24mm lens. I wanted to experiment and replace 35mm with 24mm in my work, but in the end, I went back to the 50 plus 35mm combo. I mainly shoot portraits, and this 24mm lens gives me too much distortion, rounding the shape of the face, making the nose more protruding. I didn't really like that, and this peculiarity of the lens is not something that will appeal to most models. This focal length is suitable for more artistic shooting. The beauty of the human body is portrayed through a prism of photographer's perception. I've seen thousands of very interesting shots taken with 24mm lens, including portrait shots. I really like how those photos turned out, but I don't see that style in my works. At the same time, the difference in viewing angle between 24 and 35mm is not so big. I can achieve exactly the same composition using 35mm by just stepping back. But the geometry of faces I get from a 35mm lens is far better for my taste. I can see the 24mm lens as a perfect choice for landscape photography, but I mainly shoot photos of people, and landscape photography happens only while I'm traveling. Therefore, this lens mostly idles in my backpack during all the shootings. The f1.4 aperture is great and produces a really nice looking bokeh, but in landscape photography, the bokeh is not really needed. The only scenario this aperture can be utilized is astrophotography, but I haven't had the pleasure to properly try it. So yeah, if I need a bokeh, I have a 35mm f1.4 lens, and for wide angle shots, 24 to 70mm lens, which solves many problems at once. Therefore, I'm saying goodbye to Sigma. But you know what is just as important as choosing the right lens? Choosing the right photo editor. It often happens that photographers have to try multiple programs until they find the optimal one in terms of functionality and usability. I think it's always nice to get some advice with this so you won't have to try every app out there. Personally, I would like to recommend Photoworks. The app offers a convenient and intuitive interface and a ton of features which will satisfy both novice and experienced photographers. Let me show you one feature that I have used many times lately. It allows you to replace the sky in your photos with ease. This way you can really make your photos more epic. It works with landscape shots and with portraits equally well. Here is a good photo to experiment with. The morning sky looks decent, but somewhat too flat for me. To replace it, go to Tools and select the Sky Replacement tab. Give artificial intelligence a few seconds to analyze the image and separate the sky from the rest of the picture. As soon as the loading bar is gone, we can select the new sky. The app has countless skies built in, but you can always upload something you like. Personally, I prefer using the options available by default, so I'm just looking for the right one. I'm looking for a more morning sunset-esque dusk sky, this one will do nicely and looks great already, but we can still make a few additional improvements. By changing the blur, the borders, and adjusting the transparency, we can really make it look fantastic. And any flaws we see can be easily edited out with a stamp tool. If this feature has inspired your creativity and given you the desire to try Photoworks, click the link in the description. Photoworks has a free trial period, so you will have time to test all its features. The link in the description will also give you a 60% discount on your purchase of this app. And now, back to the lenses. The second lens I said farewell to was another Sigma lens. And no, I don't have a problem with this brand, it just happened. This time it was a macro lens. Sigma 70mm f2.8 macro art lens, to be precise. Some time back, I really wanted to try macro photography, and I'm not talking about photographs of flowers and butterflies. I plan to shoot food, interior items, maybe some household tools or decorations in the appropriate scenery. I wanted to create a small home studio, but after a few attempts, the fire in my eyes just went away and the lens was quickly retired. And yes, this lens can be used not only for macro shots, but that's exactly where the 24 to 70mm lens comes into play. It's just too similar in terms of the focal length and aperture. I should have spent more time thinking instead of making quick and pricey purchases. Now I think Sony 90mm or Sigma 105 would have been a better choice. In the end, I just want to say, don't be afraid to experiment with lenses, brands, focal lengths, and apertures. It would be perfect if there was a lens rental company in your city. Also, some photo stores can do test drives and you can use their gear. This way, you would be able to test different lenses and find out which ones you actually need. You can, of course, watch dozens of reviews, but you must try things out to really understand what you need. If lens rental is out of the question for you, there's always a huge market of used lenses. Almost every marketplace has hundreds of various lenses at various price points. Plus, you can always ask the seller about his experience with the lens and his reasons to sell it. Let your photographic journey be fun, interesting, and bring only pleasure. Thank you for watching this video. Hit that like button and write in the comments which lenses do you use and which ones do you regret buying. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and see you soon. Bye bye.